Hello everyone, welcome back to Art in a Nutshell, and you're watching Ankita exclusively on YouTube. So today is the day 7 of hashtag 21 days challenge. Okay, let's talk about still life. What is still life drawing? So when I talk about the word still means still. That is, it doesn't move. It doesn't move by It doesn't move still. It's stationary. It doesn't move by itself. So still life is basically you sketch something that is stationary, that is a non-living thing that doesn't move. So here I'm drawing a cucumber and a tomato. This is a part of still life. These are two objects. So I can say I am doing object study. Well, object study is a part of still life. You literally can sketch anything and everything that you see around. If you sketch a particular object or two, it's called object study. But if you sketch a particular setup, then it's still life. You can literally sketch anything and everything that you see around. Look for things that are unmoved and still and sketch them. You can also arrange a few things according to your comfort zone and sketch. Why still life is so important? Number 1, a good friend of basics. Fundamentals and basics are important, but sometimes we are bored doing the same fundamental or exercise, every time. So instead of scribbling, you can go for a object study. So what do I mean by object study? Okay, so you see there are so many things around us, so many things. You can say the leaves, the trees, the specs, the t-shirt. Not a human being is a little complex, but there are so many objects around us that you can study. Just observe them carefully. Observe, try to understand what kind of geometrical figure is it. I mean, every object can be broken down into simpler form. So try to imagine that object in a geometrical form, and just observe and sketch what you see. Just sketch what you see. That's called object study. And now, so that's object drawing. Or so it's simple. If you're bored, just scribbling and making squares and rectangles and circles, and you still want to work on your fundamentals, start with object study. Just see random things around you, sketch them. Okay? And you know why it is still life? Because when you start observing things, everything has a life. Every part of this universe has a life. If I just sit down here and I watch this stand and this camera and this phone and this mic carefully, I feel that it has some life. It's trying to tell me something. You know what is that? I know it sounds psycho, but it's not. Really, when you become an artist, when you start observing things, you will realize that object is not just a piece of metal. It does have life. Why? Because life has forms. Objects have forms at least, and it has certain kind of tones that are bright, tones that are dull, that tells the mood of the object. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. You're just making up shit. Really, if you observe, you will realize. By the way, artists are psychos. Second thing is, object study helps you to imagine that object later on in your life and sketch it. So, if you are planning to sketch out of imagination, your object study will help you to draw things more accurately, even if they are imaginary. Okay, say suppose I'm sitting here and I want to create a cartoon, I want to create a character. If I have already studied the anatomy of a person, then it would be easier for me to sketch the cartoon, because I know where the nose and where the eyes lie. Okay, if I talk about an object, if I want to draw a house, if I know the anatomy of the house, the basic anatomy of the house, I can create however and whatever house type I want to. And it's so simple. Often people tell me, dude, why are you copying something? Working out of imagination is the real talent. And then you will tell me this, you know what, I have a strong imaginary power, but I don't know how to sketch, because it's there in my mind but I cannot put it on the paper. You know the reason why? Because you don't know the forms, and that you will learn when you are good at your object study. Next, still life is a good way of relaxation. So if you are tired of your work, your daily work, and you're really disturbed and you're really stressed, still life study is a great way to get rid of all your stress. It's like a stress buster. Seriously. Imagine you're sitting on a sofa and there's nothing on the television and your phone's dead. What do you want to do? Sit on your sofa and see what's there on the table. You're gonna see an apple, a knife, or a cup of saucer because you just drank tea or coffee. Or maybe you're gonna see anything but Rapunzel. So, observe it, see the light and shade and sketch it. Listening to music plus sketching those stuff really relaxes you. It does to me at least. That's it for today's video. Hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you're doing well and keep up with your work. All the best.